I'm going to talk a little bit about trauma. This is kind of the intro, part one, where I'm going to give four positives and four challenges related to working with trauma. It is a topic that is super important to me. I've spent over a decade doing research on it and working with behavior and striving to understand not only what causes the behavior, but how to correct it, how to change behavior. And that's the ultimate goal is not necessarily to get compliance, which is nice. Sometimes we just need compliance, like do what you're told, but longer term behavior change, which is what is that person doing when no one's looking and kind of undoing some of those effects of trauma. On the positive side, I think the first thing that I want to address with trauma is if we understand the effects of trauma, the behaviors that are related to it, it helps us deal with challenging people. Notice that it not to just say students, people, adults, children, students. Having a knowledge of trauma does empower us. And that is actually also point number two. It becomes kind of this superpower because when we're looking at what annoys us the most as educators, as parents, as significant others, it's people's behavior. So when we understand what's driving behavior, how it has gotten to where it is, and then how to undo it, it is a like putting on your cape and being able to fly. It's a great superpower to have. Trauma is also a foundational piece for a lot of mental illnesses. And some of them are going to seem very obvious. Some might surprise you. This is not an exhaustive list, but attention deficit disorder, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, oppositional defiance disorder, anxiety, depression, obviously post-traumatic stress disorder, antisocial personality disorder. Something that is really important to understand is the connection between trauma and addiction. They're very intimately intertwined. Despite those challenges, the best news I have with regard to trauma is the idea of neuroplasticity. Our brains are always capable of changing. As long as we're alive, our brains can change, which means behavior can change, our thought processes can change, and our behavior can change. So there's no such thing as a lost cause when we're looking at trauma-related behavior. On the challenging side, Rome was not built in a day. The behaviors that frustrate us did not happen overnight. There is something we call stability of behavior, which is a wonderful thing because it makes us predictable. It also makes it time consuming to undo. So this is not a Hogwarts, snap your fingers and say the magic word and that person is going to be fixed. It's a process. It's going to take some time. So we have to be patient. Relationships are critical to helping a person who has a traumatic history. At the same time, a person with a traumatic history can have challenges in developing normal relationships and normal attachments. This can be super frustrating because we're reaching out, and they're not responding. And it takes, going back to item number one, it can take a while. Number three for challenges. In education, we buy all of these plug and play curriculums. It's like, buy this and show it to your class tomorrow. The challenge with trauma is that it's not plug and play. It's a process and a team effort with the school staff and ideally also with the parents. But if we can't get them involved, then we're on our own as a staff. It is a process, not just a thing that we can buy. That leads to number four. The biggest challenge with trauma is that it begins with adults understanding the behavior and how to change their own behavior and change the behavior of the students. And so that's a big ask, especially those of us of an age who feel like we are used to or we're good at what we do and I'm not going to change. Well, we're going to get the same outcome with our students, coworkers, significant others, kids, because their behavior is a response to what we are doing. And so probably the biggest challenge is that we have to look at ourselves, we have to understand trauma, and then we have to adjust our proactive and reactive responses. Thank you for joining me.